Portuguese citizenship. The legal situation here is evolving all the time, and I'm very happy to give a very, very encouraging update regarding the possibility to obtain Portuguese citizenship for descendants of Sephardic Jews. As people may know, in 2022 there were limiting regulations that came into effect. And these limiting regulations more or less put most of the applications on hold because people didn't want to apply. People were afraid to contact a lawyer when the lawyer isn't able to promise him success in the case. And unfortunately, it was very difficult to promise success because limiting regulations were in effect, even though many argue that these regulations are unconstitutional. Lawyers actually in Portugal submitted petitions against these regulations, and these petitions were in process. In addition, the government of Portugal submitted a draft law basically giving the regulations the legal weight of a law. So that actually means that the government itself understood that the regulations were problematic and unconstitutional, because if the regulations were enough, why did the government itself have to submit a draft law giving the regulations the validity of a law? So basically, all these factors together caused most legal experts to believe that these regulations will be abolished at some point. Eventually, the Supreme Court in Portugal actually canceled the regulations. So the regulations weren't in effect. So from that day onwards, you only have the 2015 law allowing descendants of Portuguese citizenship to obtain Portuguese citizenship without limitations, just by proving that they're actual descendants, of course, of Sephardic Jews that were expelled from Portugal in 1497. Basically, what happened after the Supreme Court canceled the regulations is that another draft law was submitted, a more extreme draft law. It was basically revised, a draft law that wasn't yet approved, and it was a very problematic draft law in many ways. It included very problematic sections that were extremely unconstitutional. This draft law was approved and then reached the president, and the president had to sign it as the final stamp. Just a few days ago, the President of Portugal notified, came out with a notice that he's not willing to sign the draft law because the draft law is unconstitutional in his view, and that this draft law needs to be sent to the Constitutional Committee to basically be dealt with. Within 25 days, most think that this committee is going to decide that the draft law is unconstitutional, and then basically the parliament is going to need to come up with a new law. And naturally, probably at some point there will be limitations to the 2015 law, but at the moment the only law that exists is the 2015 law. There are no regulations and there is no other law. So this is the time to submit applications based on the 2015 law. Our office is here to assist you with this process. So if you have proof that you're a descendant of Sephardic Jews that were expelled from Spain and Portugal, in Spain in 1492 and Portugal in 1497, you can contact us and we'll be happy to examine your case to see if you're eligible and to assist you with this process. Thank you very much for your time.